All right, it's recording.
Okay, is it 11 yet? Just about.
One.
I mean, one.
Well, it's 11 where he is.
That's right.
I know. Yeah.
Sorry about that. I was like, oh, well, it's 1 o'clock where you are. So let's get the workshop going, I guess. Let's open it up. So Cheryl says she's done a lot of work on this the water rates, and so we'll probably just jump into that, right?
Sure. I'm gonna share my screen. Just to kind of give you, I can blow this up a little bit more so it's a little easier for you guys to see. Oops. So I spoke with Steve. I connected with Steve LaFrance
Right.
earlier to kind of figure out where, wrap my head around the whole EDU concept. And so we talked through it, and it's kind of he really encouraged us to get away from the whole meter thing. And he's right, because once I got the meter sizes for people, it's really sporadic. The sizes of meters, why people have the different meters that they have.
Okay.
And there was only really maybe a dozen businesses that actually had meters that were bigger than a residential meter.
Okay.
So it doesn't really make sense to look at meter size.
Okay.
So speaking with him, so you'll see the top line currently, folks are paying a base rate of 210,000 for that 210
Dollars.
for that, yeah, dollars. They get 24,000 gallons, and then after that they pay $4 per 1,000
Wow.
gallons.
It's
Right,
not
per
currently.
1,000 gallons.
Not currently.
You don't pay. You pay $4.
No, currently they get 48,000 gallons for that 210, and they pay $2 per 1,000 over the 48,000 each.
Okay.
But
It
well,
doesn't.
actually,
It doesn't hurt any of my math, so it's
Right.
not a big deal.
Actually, I don't know what it does to your rate there, Cheryl, because that 24,000 is per 6 months, and then they go the 2,000. So I don't know if that matters or not.
No, because the rate, you said the rate annually is 210, or is that
Right. Yes.
Okay.
Sorry.
So that's fine. Yep. Okay.
And that's
So-
annually.
And that's annually. So that's all users. That's everybody across the board pays that. So taking and talking with Steve and trying to find a balance between, like, there's certainly not going to be any winners or losers, or I mean,
Right.
someone's always going to be upset. But
Yeah.
so we looked at taking, I figured out, give or take, we're pretty close to that 20. We're at 25,000 gallons is like the average user when you take all of the residential users for this 2020 year, or this past 2020. We have 900, just about 1,000 residential users, and then the rest are businesses. So taking that, we've come up with 150 as like your base rate, based off of average use of residents. And then so residents would be charged $150 annually. This is not semi-annual or anything like that. We're working with just annual rates. So it'd be $150. There'd be no gallons included, and that's a lot of that you'll see is because of the price reduction here. And then it would be $5 per 1,000 gallons on all of their gallons that they use. It's more equitable this way. And the $5, we got the $5 based off of what it costs us to make water. It's $5 per 1,000 gallons.
Mhm.
So then commercials, this first one, commercials, we have a lot of businesses, commercial businesses that use under an average of 25,000 gallons. So any businesses that use under 25,000 gallons, which is how we based the resident rate,
Yep.
I put in $150, figuring that they're consistent, they're the same. So then you have anybody that uses over 25, any commercial businesses that use anything over 25,000 to 100,000, they're using potential 4 times as much. So the rate goes up 4 times. The next one, any commercial businesses that use, right now I'm using 2020 usage. Any businesses that used over 200,000, I mean, under 200,000 would double. And so it just keeps going down until you get, we have just a handful of businesses that use over 500,000 gallons a year. And so that would be their base rate. And then each of them can pay the $5 per 1,000 gallons on all of their usage. So taking that in, I kind of did a comparison chart to look at. So if we looked at a young family, so a mom, dad, and a couple of young kids, currently their bill came in at $292. If we went the flat rate fee, like I just explained, their bill would be $595 annually. If we did it based off of EDUs, like we had talked about with Steve, their annual rate would be $850. Significant increase from $292 to $850. Okay. So then you take a family of 4 and they have like an in-law apartment. They're currently paying $420. A flat rate would be $580. And if we did it by EDUs, they would be at $530. Pretty close. Middle-aged couple, they're paid $214. Flat rate would be $375. EDUs would be $425. So it would be much higher, or about $50 higher on an EDU scale. Senior citizens, it would be about flat. 4 adults living in a house, so that could be, college age students with their parents, would go from $210, $330 at the flat rate, $340 based off of EDUs. A single adult pays $210 right now. Flat rate, it would stay the same. If we went by EDUs, they would go down some. An older couple, I figured somewhere, picked someone between around their 60s. So they're kind of retired, early retirement. They currently pay $282. If we did it by EDUs, they'd go to $740. If we did it by the flat rate, they'd be at $540. And then I threw in the quarter shares. Those are the places that like Deer Park or Alpine Village. They currently pay $68. If we went by EDUs, they pay $175. If we kept it with the flat rate of $150 as a base rate, it would be $130. So then I did the same type of comparison with businesses. Small business right now pays $210. If we did it by EDUs, it would go up to $220. The flat rate, they pay $265. A medium-sized business would be, a couple of the shops along Main Street, maybe. They currently pay, this one that I picked out, currently paid $1,800. If we went to EDUs, they pay almost $7,600, and flat, they're about a little over $7,600. A large business currently pays about $6,800. By EDUs, they'd go up to almost $29,000, and then based on the flat rate, they'd pay $18,000. Sorry, there's a laundromat. We have a couple of them in town. Pays currently about $1,500. With the EDUs, they pay $63. With the flat rate, it'd be $69. Lodging, $302. With the EDUs, it would go to $900. And this is a smaller lodging property that I had picked out. It was a B&B. Their flat rate would be a little over $1,000, and then a restaurant currently pays $400. They'd go to $1,370 or $1,925. So that being said, it looks like for residents, the flat rate is going to be, a really good, it's not going to impact them financially as much. Businesses, no matter what, they're going to be impacted. from their current rates significantly. I guess it's finding a balance between the flat rates and the EDU rate. If we keep the residential rate the way it is, and we go with the decision to do the flat rate of 150 and then 5,000 per 100,000 gallons, we can take, that'll give us a price. I think it's somewhere around 275,000. We know we need 484, and then we could play with the business rates to kind of align them better to what, or balance them better between the flat rate and the EDU rate. So there's not so much of a significant difference between the two.
What, Cheryl, you're really talking about the proposal is the bottom, the first chart that we were on, right?
This one, yep.
Yeah, I just figured out mine. I would go up quite a bit, but not astronomically with the flat EDU type rate. You know what I mean?
Correct.
Right.
Yeah.
And that would be, I expected to go up. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So
It's an equitable and balanced and I think fair way. It's not necessarily fair to up the residential rates too much to kind of balance out what we're not getting from the businesses.
right.
And so that's why, I looked at taking that 150 and then multiplying it out based on the size of, or the water usage by those businesses.
I think that's reasonable. It's not good.
No. But so I did do, I did a bunch of research on towns or areas around us, and what their current rates are, monthly, quarterly, semi-annual and annual, based on basically the 25,000 gallons. It's 2 gallons per month is what the study showed, and what those rates are. So currently, this is us down here. We're on like the bottom, charging the least amount for our water. What I just proposed to you guys would bring us up to more or less the middle of the pack, probably still a little bit lower than our surrounding towns that pay for water.
I think that's not unreasonable. I just did the quickie selfish calculation. I'd go from about 12 to about 18, which is not, but I use a ton of water too. So, I mean,
right. Basically, once we figure out where that level is for the water and what we want to charge, then I can take that and figure out where we're going to be at with sewer.
now does the rate structure that you've got proposed here, does that bring us up to the 440 or wherever we need to be?
Yeah.
Or close to it?
Here we go. So we bring in about 276,000 from residential. Commercials, we'd bring in about 213, which would bring us to a total of 489.
Which
And we
is
need
more than-
484.
And that covers
Which-
the debt service too,
Yep, it would give us a little, yep.
which is supposed to be paid off already.
But we're not increasing it for the 10% that Steve recommended.
Right.
Bagging.
And
Right, I'm
just-
going straight up.
So that when that goes away, Scott, you'll still have your 10%
Right,
cushion.
right. We'll have our
The
buffer.
engineer.
Yep.
Right.
Yep.
Yep.
Right.
No, I'm okay with this. I think it's a good plan. There's not any, nothing we do is going to make everybody happy here.
No,
No.
So
you just gotta,
I did run a
Try to do
quick
it as-
number as far as like the average residential cost in 2020 was about $300. And with the new proposed rate, the average would be about 276. So on average, folks would go down about $25.
the residential rate,
Yeah.
do we really want to go down?
Well,
No, they're not-
their annual, their rate's not going down, but their annual, what they'll spend. But it's on average, Scott.
Okay.
It's not, it's on average. Some are, some of the single folks are, as I showed in that other, some of the single folks are going to go down a little bit then.
Yeah.
Well, their usage is down. The only thing that again, and I hate to harp on this though, is if we could do a little better by the seniors on a fixed income.
I don't know how you ever do that.
That's pretty cheap, though.
Mhm.
I don't know
Well,
how
it
you
is
can
if you're
do-
not on,
I mean, this is
necessarily if you're on a fixed income.
so a senior citizen, when I looked at, and they're all pretty balanced, their water bill would go up $100 a year, so $25 a quarter.
Do we bill quarterly or semi-annually?
We're going to quarterly.
We're going to quarterly. Yeah, because by the time you get to December,
We're gonna
you don't
bill
want to be beating on people.
quarterly. Right.
Because the plan is still to bill the water and sewer together, correct?
I would think.
Yeah, me too.
And you could
So-
even do it on one bill,
I would
one piece of
suspect so.
paper.
I think we have to send the bills each quarter.
I do too, but do them all on one piece of paper, water
Oh,
on one line, sewer on the next line.
oh, absolutely. Yeah. Oh, yeah, absolutely. That only
Now,
makes,
But Gil, I think what Cheryl's saying here too, though, is the average water bill, even for a senior, is going to go down with the scenario from what it is today.
Yeah, I saw that. I just saw that.
Is that right, Cheryl? Cheryl's in between screen shares and stuff, I think here, but.
it says she's still on.
Ask her, but I can't this time because she's on a phone call.
Yeah, I think that's probably a fair way to go. I mean, people are not going to be happy, but I think we should probably have a public hearing on the rates, don't you? Before we change this,
Oh, yeah, I wouldn't just dump it on people.
because you're going to want probably the Schambergers to be involved, and you should notify the ice castles and things like that, because all those are going to see a pretty substantial increase.
You're muted, Judy. Okay,
Sorry. Yeah, I think public hearing would be great, and it'd be great if we could do the water and sewer rate at the same time.
Yep.
You know, and then we could send out a postcard to everybody, letting them know that we were gonna have this hearing.
now the postcard for people who aren't necessarily computer literate, and maybe a couple of because we're gonna get feedback from the first meeting, and if there's something that we have to tweak, maybe have a second meeting.
We're just gonna have to move pretty, because our billing's coming up, so.
Well,
But we
the
can have
thing
the
is,
public hearing.
you're not gonna give them the first bill. The first bill would probably start July 1 for the next quarter. And then you'd
Right.
be billing on that usage. So I mean,
Right. So we have,
so you wouldn't send your first bill out till October 1st or the first of October.
no, are we gonna read in July? We gotta have some money coming in July.
You're gonna bill on the current rate structure in July, and then
Right.
so this new rate structure would start for July's rates going forward.
We're gonna be short a little bit of cash coming in for that quarter.
First two
So-
No more than
quarters.
we have in the past.
Right.
When we read, well, it's coming right up, April 30th.
Well, I think bottom line is if you want to, I'm just saying maybe, the sewer starts July 1, right?
Right, should we just wait and change our structure and start with July 1 for a reading?
That's what I was thinking, is just do July 1, read everything July 1 and
Right.
start a new quarter from then on.
That's
And
what I,
bill everybody, of course, for their water will be a little bit more than they usually pay because it's going to be an extra few months.
and then it will balance out.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think so too.
So you start all these new rates July 1, they go for the next quarter, and then we do the first bill in October. It's,
No, we do our first bill in July, don't we?
no, because you won't have any readings. You won't have
Yeah,
any usage.
I gotta go read right now.
Well, I
going
know,
out-
no, you are going to, but you're not gonna have them on the new rate structure until you start in July. When you read July, it'd be the same rates we've been doing now.
So
right.
don't read in April.
I wouldn't read in April. My thought is you don't read in April at all. You're reading in July and bill them
For the
the
whole,
previous period. Yep.
but so my first bill is July, not October then.
Yeah, I'm sorry. Yeah. But the first
Okay.
bill on the new rate structure would be October.
Okay, no. Oh, so the first bill in July, I use the old,
Yeah,
Right.
and then going forward, switch to the new. Gotcha. All right, I'm with you
that's
now.
that's my thought. I mean, I think that's fair. Gives people kind of a chance to, if they can make some modifications, they can, you know what I mean? So.
And we
'cause
can put a notice in with those water bills that October it's gonna change. So that'd
Good
be a really
idea.
good way.
Yep,
As well as
October,
well
new-
as the postcard and the,
Yeah.
the two,
the-
minimum of two, public hearings.
notice, and then that's perfect. Okay. Yeah,
Okay, well, that's good. Now, what about Steve's thoughts on the sewer end of it?
So now that we've kind of said, okay, this is what we like this rate structure for water, I can figure out sewer. So I'll have that figured out for our next get together.
Now,
And
that's,
I think residential and businesses are gonna see a huge jump.
right. Yeah,
probably not as big as we think when they start to conserve a little more, knowing that it's gonna go up.
I don't know. We'll see.
Yeah.
so is sewer going to be the May 1st? No, April 30th, or
I thought sewer was always billed. I mean,
no,
the period was July 1 to July 1.
July 1 to June 30th. No, I was asking Cheryl if she was thinking that for the April 30th workshop. Or-
Yeah,
Or do we want to push that out to a different?
no, I
workshop.
can have it. No, now that the hard part's done.
Yeah.
Now it's just really kind of pulling the columns over and repeat. So no, I can have it for the 30th.
So basically, we take the similar structure, bring it over there and have anybody uses over X EDUs or gallons as a fixed rate of X, Y, and Z, and just kind of duplicate the whole thing. Correct?
Okay,
I think that's what Cheryl's going with it.
And
I
Judy,
like
I'm
that.
gonna sit down with you to figure out where the business structure right now. And
Yep.
then, okay,
And sewer based on, what percentage of water in, water out?
yeah,
I
and he
think
said it's
Water in.
5%.
Just
Yeah.
water in equalized?
pretty
Yep.
much, it's only 5% now, Steve said, if that.
And like
Well,
he
that
said,
was
it's
my
too hard. I mean, Ice Castle
3%,
obviously is gonna have
5%.
to have a separate meter. They're gonna have a separate meter to build the castle and then for their other usage, you know, for the bathrooms and their house and all that stuff. They're gonna have to have 2 meters because you can't charge them sewer, of course, on.
Then
The
we're gonna
ice-
have to really come up with a fee for them for sewer, like what we're gonna charge them, maybe their flat rate fee, or we'll figure it out.
No, it should be the same as everybody else. They have 2
Right.
connections. You know what I mean? I'm just saying you can't. Right. I know what you're saying. You can't, you're gonna have to come up with what they use residentially, an estimate or something, I think.
Or like a commercial, kind of like we did with the water, or Cheryl did with the water. Yeah.
Yeah.
I like it. Yep.
I don't like it. So.
We said there's some winners and there's some losers.
I'm gonna be nice.
Game of life.
We're
Not
recording.
unexpected.
Now, how does it work for an apartment building? Is it per unit in an apartment building like it is condos?
Some
The
are bigger than
con-
others.
the-
One building, or is it, you know, I mean, that's, you know,
Like the Morris
Um,
block?
right. Should it be per apartment? Should it be per?
Yeah,
It
That's-
comes out just about even because
It
I did run that. Yep, I
Okay.
did. I ran Miles's apartments right there on Main Street as
Okay.
commercial and then as apartments. And it came out pretty much spot on within a few $100. Not even a few $100, like 20 or $30. So,
Okay.
And condos?
They're separate.
those are separate. Those come in as residentials.
Mhm.
Okay,
Now, and the quarter shares, the trouble is billing by the gallon's gonna make it tougher for them, but they'll have to figure that out.
Well, yeah, they'll have to bill it. I build them by quarters. So if there's, yeah,
But that's their problem. If these people use more than I do and all that stuff, that's not our issue. So,
Right. The nice part of quarterly too is we'll pick up on leaks quicker.
yep,
besides the one major one we probably have going on now.
What's that?
Well, we're still looking for any other possible discrepancies in the meter readings. From
Oh,
pump
yes.
and,
yeah, it's gonna be interesting to see where that goes the next few weeks because
right,
there's not a lot of progress in figuring out where this water's going yet. Some, but
Right.
not a lot.
I think the key too it will probably be next year too, when we have that valve that's fixed down there at the well,
Right, so they're doing
which is
that
next week, right?
next week. That's gonna,
Yep.
then we'll be able to see how that impacts it. So,
It might take a while for us to actually, start working on things and then seeing. There's a couple things I know they're working on. But
no, Dan's been getting right back to me with different spreadsheets and I think she's shared them with everybody, so.
yeah, I'm gonna order a bunch of clipboards and try to do the best we can to have them keep, every time they do a blow off, fill it out every time. It's gonna be more work for them, but they're just gonna have to do it until we can narrow it down.
I agree.
So I figure I'll put clipboards in each of the trucks. We'll give one to David Avery when he fills up.
and when the
Yeah.
hydrant, when they
Flush the hydrants. Yeah.
flush the
Well,
hydrants,
that's on Pennachuck. They do that, so.
but it's still water usage.
Oh,
Right,
yeah.
but they'll have to keep that spreadsheet.
They're
We have
gonna
a bunch of spreadsheets.
Now they do it
that-
with a meter or they just,
Well, he wants us to try to figure out how to meter blow-offs. I don't know. We're working. It's all,
I don't think it's a bad idea if we can, for sure.
no, I agree.
Because we just need to tighten it up, at least to, what is he saying? It's an average of 15 or 20% loss or something like that.
I
Yep.
can't remember. I don't have it right in front of me
15%,
right
I
now.
think. And we're at 50, so.
And the other thing to note is that before Pennachuck came, we never had this data provided. Nobody kept track of it. Nobody had this data. So until Pennachuck came and started producing these reports that went into our town report, we were not aware of this, honestly. And then, because I tried to go back before them, 2013 and 2014, when we operated on the Welch's license. And they no longer they didn't provide us this information. And they don't keep their report. They don't have their reports. They only keep them for 5 years. So I have emailed DES to see if I can kind of track that down. And
That'd be great.
even going back to Bill's days, he didn't keep track of, there's no reports there if he did. So we probably, it could be going on for a long time and we just never knew
Right.
until we had this company come in.
Right.
So we're working on it, I promise.
Okay.
and as we go forward, if the DES doesn't require them to keep them after 5 years, we should keep them anyways. For our own,
We print it right in our town report, so they're with you for life now.
Okay. All right, so we've done the water and sewer thing. Should we discuss parks a little bit? Maybe the title searches on those buildings and things? One thing I noticed out here with parks in both Arizona and New Mexico, the way they control access, and they've had the same issues we do. They have X number of parking spots at each park. When they're full, they're full. If they park on the road, they're towed away. It's real simple.
I like simple.
They keep it real simple. They have like a big parking lot, so everybody can, but you cannot park anywhere else for that parking lot or you're towed away, period. We could do the same thing at Staple Rock. Label the parking spots, line them up. I mean, I don't know. Again, we get into the policing issue of who can authorize the towing and ticketing and all that stuff. So
We can't, well, I've talked to, I'm going to actually call the administrator in Plymouth. I have talked to a couple people and we can have a parking enforcement person that's not through the police department. It's part of their job. That is allowed.
I'm sorry, I just had so we can have one person that's not a police.
It's not part of the police department that can write tickets and put them on the car if that's part of their job description, supposedly.
So
I'm going to call the Plymouth administrator. And I did start working, I didn't know we were gonna do this, so let me just grab my paper right here. Checking into Staple Rock Road.
from what
Yeah.
Bill came up with, that was a great thing that needed us that road when they,
We just need written permission. We don't even have to go to town meeting. That you guys can reclassify it. But we need to get the abutters permission and to stop maintaining it. So now that's where I'm at.
I think they'll be happy.
Yeah, it's. She doesn't think it needs to go to town meeting vote per RSA 231-3. She thinks we just need to get written permission and stop maintaining it, which we don't maintain it now, so, and we're
Right.
good. And we need permission from all abutting property owners. And that's that.
Yeah,
Because
could
that
you
would
copy
be-
Kevin on all this stuff too, as we go forward?
Yes,
can,
as soon as
yeah.
I have a definitive answer as to what's gonna happen, I will let him know.
Right.
Because
There's
I
a lot-
think that would keep a lot more under control there. You want to put in a reasonable amount of parking spots so people can use it. But once they're full, that's it.
And I think we should charge. Let's recoup some of our money for cleaning up after people, and maybe
agree.
that'll hold people a little more responsible too. And I think $20 to hang out there on a day, if you're non-resident, is fair enough.
And
We
we
can
give,
figure out a way to do it. I'm all for it.
and we give residents a sticker.
Yep.
Right. Yeah,
Just like you get at the dump residents.
Now,
Yep.
that would be a great solution at Mirror Lake too, if we could do it. Have X
Yeah,
number
There's
of
no
spots,
communication there at all right now.
and that would keep
I'm-
things under control there as well. Cascade Park is hopeless.
Yep, same with municipal.
well, there is no parking, designated parking for it, so how are you gonna do that?
No, you can't. You can't. And believe me, I'm right across the street. I'd love to be able to do it because it's crazy. But I think if you could discourage people from setting up kitchens along the river there and tents and
We can do that from the municipal parking lot.
Yeah.
Yeah, with signage.
because last summer there were like, 15 by 20 tents set up with grills underneath and tables and chairs and everything else. It was crazy. So. And no word from anybody on, Mirror Lake. Okay.
Nope.
Have we, and as far as fee structures and building permits and things like that, any progress there as far as us able to change fees on our own or anything, or?
No, I think we kind of just forgot about that. I'll
just-
double check with her again. I think it probably, she might have forgotten.
Because we need to up the fees and stuff like that on building permits. They're dumb. I mean, again,
Oh,
it's something-
that's the one we have to search through the yeah,
Yes.
I have to search through the town reports on
I
that.
don't mean to be a pain in the neck. I just want to keep going on it because, there are big projects coming up and we might want to have an independent engineer look at them and stuff like that. And if we don't change these fees, then we're going to have to pick it out of our own money instead of theirs, so.
True.
And we've got kind of two on slated for now, and what's Ice Castles and Peeling project. But the Peeling project's gonna be all government controlled anyways. It's government money. They're gonna do whatever the government tells them to do.
Yeah, but we have local control over building and stuff like that. So I mean,
Well,
to building permits and stuff. So I
Right.
agree. It looks like that's going forward from what talking to Stuart and stuff, but
There's been, different people calling and inquiring stuff, so I'm assuming so, but I have nothing official.
the big project of the ice castle is not happening, at least not in the near future. So
Have you
Yeah.
heard any more from Dorsey or whoever that was across the street?
that's dead for now, I think.
It is.
yeah.
I don't think but that's something is going to happen there. You know, it's whether it's Dorsey or someone else. Let's
Oh,
face it,
absolutely.
it's one of the last pieces of land that's doable on town water and sewer. So it's going to happen. And something I'm sure will happen at the ice castle someday. Maybe not this year, but we'll see. And did Laura talk anything about the deeds, trying to straighten out the deed for the firehouse?
She has not yet.
Okay. Because that may take a few months.
Yeah,
And how-
she's gonna have to hire an abstractor, a deed search, and probably go through some probate.
Yep. And get the deed, start working on the deed, whether we need a survey or whatever of the old maintenance shed to make sure we got all the easements and stuff in there that we have to have.
Well, that's it. I think we need a surveyor, but I'm also thinking we need an engineer down there to determine the easements that we want.
Yep,
And I think if
So
we
you-
could get Bill down there too,
good idea.
he's infinitely knowledgeable about
So we,
everything that's down under there. I mean, he was here when the system was put in.
should we just decide now at this point to have Horizons go down there and map it out?
I think it would be a good idea.
So do we have a motion to have Horizons go map it out?
How about a motion to get a price
A
from
price to map it out.
Horizons
Okay,
to map it out?
well, we're gonna end up paying, anyway, let's go
Oh,
first,
let's get
okay?
a price first.
And have them do the, find out what's on there, price to find out what's under the ground there and to put it on a map that we can. use.
Lay out the easements.
So a price for that. Because all this stuff is gonna take time, and if we don't get,
Picking
rolling.
away at it.
Okay, I have a motion.
Second? All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
I can give Mike Cloughan from ahead a call, kind of get see if I can feel them out as to how far along they are in their process.
Sounds good. Make sure they know about, I'm sure they do, the new water sewer structure too. Because as they're putting together their financing, I think Stuart probably filled them in, it's gonna have,
I'll make sure that line of communication is open for sure.
because it's gonna have an impact on their financing, because they're gonna need that, quite a lot of money to be able to hook that stuff up, so. What else do we have?
That's all I had.
I think the next meeting's sewer, but I also think you guys maybe need to work on your job description ideas for the parks for next meeting. And Kippy has turned in his retirement paper, as you guys saw, so we need to think about posting that position as well.
Well, when can we start doing that?
We can post whenever. I just hadn't heard from you guys, so I wanted to talk about, maybe we could post that one and you guys could work on what you're thinking for the job description for this other position.
Yeah.
Yep.
And
I'll
maybe,
do some research and pull some local rec department type parks.
yeah, and I'm not so sure we've included Mike too much in this and that he's really sure what's going on with this. So we might want to start bringing him in on those conversations.
Well, he knows what he
That's good.
needs anyways.
Well, I
Well,
think what
I
we're
don't-
having this person do now is give out tickets, collect money, kick people out. I mean,
Oh, I was thinking
Clean
about
up.
replacing Kippy. I'm sorry.
yeah,
Oh,
yeah.
no. That one, I just want permission if you guys are okay with posting the position now.
Oh,
For
yeah.
that,
I think it should. When's
Yeah.
Kippy done?
May 26th, so we really
Oh, so you
should,
gotta get going. Yeah.
right. So post position for that one, and then you guys can work on that. So maybe sewer and the job description, or work on the job description for the park, highway, fourth person that you guys were talking about.
Yeah. At the next workshop, we should continue on our mission, probably to stay on Staple Rock, to do that, and also push them on Mirror Lake again. Just keep on bugging the hell out of these people. So.
Yeah, that's just a,
Not
It's
so
hard not
sure.
to have
no.
any control.
It'd be nice if honestly, she would think about selling the beach to us, then you guys could control it. It's
Right.
about the way it's gonna happen, but
well, we can control the beach area, not the access.
no, you can't control the beach area either.
No, but I mean, if we did get control of that, we could not control the access. Because they have to have access to the lake
Yeah, but
for
we can,
boats and so forth.
yeah, but we'd have more authority to sticker and
Right.
that type of thing.
Yeah.
Right,
Limitations.
but that has to be part of the
Now, is that
situation.
lake rule where it's a certain acreage of lake you have to provide public access to? Is that
Mhm.
public access to just New Hampshire residents, or is it anyone?
I think it's anyone. You can't,
anywhere? That might be a good question for Laura, but I assume it is too.
I think she said that. I'll
Something
ask.
else we can look at too is they started coming up with a class 7 designation for boat access launches.
What's that?
It's just, it's in the book, I think, and it's probably in my file. I'll stop down a little later and see if I can pull it out, but they started coming up with a class 7, past class 6, class 7 for access to boat launches.
Interesting.
But I'll look that up. I think the book is in my file in the office. I'll look.
All right, sounds good. I'll be back in town tomorrow night. Probably see you next week.
Next week?
I hope there's still snow here for you.
I hope there's not. Go out and blow it away, will you? Go on.
I hope that, hold on one second. There we go. Sorry, my phone was getting scratchy.
Is it possible to request, if you guys got some time, to go into a non-public session real quick under RSA 91A:3 to discuss a
Sure.
personnel issue?
Yeah, I got time.
Oh, okay, let me just get this time out.
144,
P, you going into non-public. Are you guys adjourning after your non-public?
yes.
Okay.
I don't have anything else.
Oh, I made that motion. It needs a second, right?
Second,
Yeah, I'll second it.
all in favor?
All right.
Aye.
All right, can you, I can't